Just want to start and say that this is me. Um, Not really too sure what I want this YouTube channel to be or these videos, but I know that I just want to focus on aspects of life. I feel like, not to say I've been through everything, but there's always profound things to share. I know there's people that know more than me, someone that knows less than me, but I just want to share my personal experience. So kind of like a blog, but this first clip here is around February, March of last year. I had a knee surgery. It's a lot of alone time, so a lot of time to think, stuck in my room. Couldn't really do anything. I live in Southwest Missouri, so that kind of climate, not like I can really be outside in the cold in crutches. But I did come to terms with the solitude. I would often make music, um, record these kind of clips, in hopes of doing something like this. And almost a whole year later, and here I am. Here I was working on a song. Never released it. I used to release music, um, not necessarily to become famous, just 'cause I like it. It's something beautiful, and I feel like a big misconception of artists is that nowadays they're doing it to get famous, when some people in reality just do it for the passion, for the love of the game, as we say nowadays. And it's something that gets lost in translation because, people share their abilities on now we have the internet, their music, their talents. It all goes on there, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's trying to be something he's not." Like, well, maybe he's just trying to perfect his craft and do it in a way that he likes to do it or she likes to do it. Not to sound sexist in arts, but yeah, it's really a misconception, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, these songs, I've shared them with some people. Not everybody gets to hear my music, and I'm fine with that. But music is a big part of my life, especially when I was alone. This clip right here is a little bit after I was back on my feet from my recovery. It's like, hey, I should maybe record some of this, get some clips. I chose this song. Um, I've played it a lot, a lot. I A lot of the piano I play is muscle memory. Do know the notes and chords, but muscle memory is unbeatable. Um, Anyways, diving into what this first video is about, keeping it light and breezy, just solitude. There's moments, I go on runs, walks, whenever I can, drives, whatever. Just look at nature, having alone time gives you time to reflect. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm alone, what am I supposed to do? And they choose to sleep, or they try to find people to hang out with. And not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but try to put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable. LeBron's favorite saying. But I mean, and not to say that I'm alone all the time either. Like, here, these are the people I hang out with. You'll never really see me hanging out with anyone other than them. And if I am, it's totally business related usually. I have added some more people into my circle, but still not as close as these guys will be. Um, I don't know that they know that. I guess if they watch this, they're knowing, hearing it now. But yeah, as long as they're cool with it. But yeah, I mean, I've recorded plenty of clips, and trust me, it was pretty difficult to find which clips to use for this video to exactly show what I want to focus on in this first video. But I feel like I'm covering ground pretty well on solitude. You know, a lot of the time, especially younger people, they feel like being alone is one of the worst things possible, when you don't see what a blessing it is, because one day you'll be so busy and you won't be able to get your that alone time you once hated so much. And it's really cruel irony in life, but it's still beautiful. Life is beautiful, as I've come to find. Let's see there, man, that storm was crazy. But in your solitude, you can really perfect your craft, focus on planning, execution, learn new skills, just really reflect. Take that time for reflection. Now, and I do want to bring up that this clip is a lot of my players, or our players. It's our team, a soccer team. Me and my brother have. I'll be diving into that later in the future. Um, mm, we have fun. That's all I'm gonna say for now. It's fun sometimes, but still, you know, it's a whole process. Um, Definitely try new things. You know, in this clip right here, I was on a walk by a lake. It's pretty nice. It was hot, but you know, it was a good, good time. Another video, I think, probably about a month before my surgery, or no, almost 2 years now. I think this clip, 2 years old. I was feeling pretty alone. I felt like no one understood me, and again, this goes back to the art thing that I was covering early in the video. That art is just an expressive way. I did share this video on my Instagram, but at the time I was attention seeking. But looking at it now, I'm just sharing it because it's art. These videos that I'm making, these videos are just, sorry about that. They're just, I don't know, just to share my process and my thoughts on what exactly life is. I'm not looking for someone to come and give me praise. I never really have been. I used to in the beginning with my music, but now it's just the music is something I have for myself. I work on perfecting that craft on my own, in my own time. And there are people I share it with, but they're like, hey, why don't you post it? Why don't you do this or that? And as much as I'd like to, it's not, I don't do it for that purpose, really. But a lot of the time we forget that whatever we're going through, someone else has gone through that exact same thing. And what we need to do is ask, just ask, how did you get through that? How were you able to overcome this process? And that's what I really did in my time alone. It was um, just a lot of research, a lot of time reflecting, meditating on my own. Um, I don't know if my family noticed. Um, I don't know if my siblings or anyone, my friends noticed, but I've done a lot of self-reflection. Um, and you'll realize that people have this old perception of you. Um, Whenever you enter that season of your life in which you want have alone time, again, don't see it as a bad thing, but take that time to improve. And when you improve, you come out of that season again. Usually it's around summertime when you come out of that season, because the wintertime is really a season where people get down in the dumps, or however you want to call it. But people still hold on to that old perception of you. They say, well, he's done that to me in the past. He's going to be like that. And I personally, I know a lot of people have those perceptions of me, those thoughts on me, and there's nothing I can do to change that. It's out of my control. So, me as a human being trying to be better, uh, as the Bible says, just forgive, share your love for people, you know, and then move on. You forgive them; they don't have to forgive you. It's up to you to take that first step. Yeah, and don't let people's old perceptions of you hurt you. Affect you now as you are. I know I've gotten in that stage of my life where I'm like, oh shoot, like they know me, they know that version of Christian. They know that version of Chris. People used to call me Chris all the time, and you know, I try to go by Christian now, but it's whatever. But I told one of my buddies the other day, they know Chris, not Christian. So we'll see how that goes. Again, growth is a big part, but on this video, I'm focusing on accepting the solitude. Like all these clips shows me working on something in improvement. Before I recorded this clip of the me making this song, I took some time to reflect. Listening to the beat of the song and wrote, as you can see to the side there, I wrote on the computer what I want to say. Send a message through what you're doing. People will see more through your actions rather than words. I mean, with songs, there is that duality of actions and words, but you get what I mean. But yeah, I I do hope someone finds this useful. If not, well, it's all right. It's not for everybody. Um, if you are dealing with that or struggling with that solitude, accepting it, I hope you see it as an opportunity to grow. Find your purpose in life. There's nothing wrong with being alone. Doesn't mean you have to resort to drinking or, smoking. I personally don't partake in any of those things, and I'm not judging you if you do. We're all human, after all. So, you know, but that doesn't mean you have to resort necessarily to searching for purpose in things you shouldn't. And again, I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm just saying doing it heavily or in an addictive manner. So, yeah. But again, watch for your health. Do what you need to do. And until next time, thanks for watching.